going on with my hair? Hello! Welcome to Beyond the Screen. Always gotta start it off chaotic, you know. I am one of your hosts, Sara. With me, as always, is Shawn.
Hey, what's going on? It's me, Shawn. I'm getting over being sick.
Oh, yeah, me too. I don't know. Mike is also with us.
Yeah, I'm always. No, I had a head cold for like a couple of weeks, but it's gone now. No, but it's sick season, not COVID sick, but just regular cold sickness. People, don't worry about it. We don't have COVID.
I thought I might have COVID. I was scared.
Wow.
Yeah, been there, done that. Don't want to do that again.
But no, I was good.
No, thank you. Well, we are officially into the Christmas spirit, the Christmas holiday.
Yeah, look at all my Christmas spirit behind me.
Well, all this is covered with a blanket because it's a bunch of crafting and gift stuff, and it looked really chaotic. So I just threw a blanket to cover it all.
You know, the blanket doesn't look bad. It's not terrible.
It looks better than a bunch of random shit.
True. It's a nice backdrop.
You did a pretty good job, Sara.
Thank you. I'll
good
take
job.
That. So today's episode is going to look a little different. We are doing top 10 Marvel MCU movies and TV shows.
Marvel Studios projects.
Marvel Studios MCU.
Marvel Studios.
So is there like
Marvel Studios?
So not X-Men or anything like that?
No, because that was not made by Marvel Studios.
But not the Netflix shows?
No, those were also not made by Marvel Studios.
Okay, I'm just clarifying that I watched all the right stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. Marvel Studios includes the MCU movies and the Disney Plus shows. That is what Marvel Studios has made.
Yep.
We are only going to be talking our top 10 because... it's Marvel.
Well, Mike and I are.
Yeah, I am.
Oh, well,
Mike and I are only going to talk our top 10.
I'm saying we're not doing our normal stuff because we're gonna be talking a lot about the Marvel movies. We want to give ourselves
episode.
Yeah, we want to give ourselves time to actually talk about things and not rush through what we think. I am going to list off my actual list up until the top 10 because I spent the last month, I think, rewatching all the Marvel stuff. I'm going to let you just right off the bat, I did not watch Incredible Hulk. I never went back to it, so it will not be on my list. I didn't watch What If, so it won't be on my list. And
it wouldn't have been anyways.
Yeah, I figured. I didn't rewatch the shows. I rewatched part of WandaVision. Life just kind of took over, but I did watch all of the movies, which it was a while before I watched all of those. So I just wanted to.
Right.
Sorry
did you
to
get an
disappoint.
Eternals rewatch in? Did you go to the theater?
I did not.
To watch it again. It doesn't count.
It doesn't count.
You didn't get all the movies. Did you?
I watched Eternals.
Shang-Chi now that it's on Disney Plus.
I did watch Shang-Chi.
Again?
Only once.
Was this your first time?
Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't see it in theaters?
No.
Okay, then it counts. Then you at least got through Shang-Chi.
Yes. So I can't... it doesn't matter. All right.
Oh, no, I just meant... you can rank it. I just meant that you didn't complete your mission.
I would like to rewatch... I feel like Eternal's spot is kind of tentative until I can rewatch it again.
I think it's coming soonish. I think the making of is coming out around Christmas.
I probably should have rewatched Shang-Chi too.
And usually...
We'll talk about it.
Usually the making of releases very close to the movie on Disney Plus. At least that's what they did with Shang-Chi. And they're dropping the making of Eternals like on Christmas or whatever. So...
Yeah.
Very soon, Eternals will be on Disney Plus, it seems.
Good.
And Hawkeye does not count because it's not
No, because it's not finished yet.
Nope, doesn't count.
So, are we ready to get started?
Yeah, go ahead. Make me upset.
Okay.
Yeah, proceed.
Okay, so I have been updating my coworkers because they're all big Marvel fans, and all of them hate me.
Breathing.
They all hate me. They all think my choices are crazy. I told my husband my list before I started, and he thinks it's insane. So just fair warning.
Okay.
Yeah, let me get my list up. So do you want me to go from the end up
just
to
bottom,
10?
Bottom to 10.
Yeah. Bottom
God.
to 11.
Okay.
Or 11, yeah.
I'll just list them, and then we'll just talk about it.
And I'll probably interrupt you if I have a really
that
good
works.
We'll interject, yeah.
All right. Okay. Starting at number 28, at the very bottom, is Iron Man 3.
Really?
The worst Marvel film for me.
Worse than Iron Man 2?
Iron Man 2 is really high.
Worse
Oh,
than
it's not
Thor,
that high.
The first 2 Thor movies?
Yes. Iron Man 3,
Worse
let me give my
than
quick thoughts. It
Guardians
starts out
2?
really strong. It's really, really boring. I don't like the villain. I just don't like Iron Man 3. Next, number 27 is Thor. Thor is really boring.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really boring. Next, might shock some people. We got Captain Marvel at number 26.
Oh my god, that is insane.
I do not like Captain Marvel.
So low.
Yeah, no.
I don't have Captain Marvel super high, but that's really
It's really.
low.
I was kind of shocked. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. Number 25 is Thor 2: The Dark World.
Okay.
Okay.
Number 24 is Ant-Man.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Number 23 is Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Okay.
Number 22 is Iron Man 2.
All right. God, Age of Ultron. That movie's better than people give it credit for.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
Also, I think I have it in the exact same place you do. So
it's good. It's just kind of there.
Yeah.
Especially after End Game, you should go back and rewatch it.
I ranked these once I was finished watching them, and I would just plug them in on how I felt. So that's kind of how this list was made. Okay, here we go. Number 21, Doctor Strange.
Bump.
Number 20, Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Okay.
I'm going to get a lot of hate. Number 19, Thor Ragnarok.
Bump.
Oh my god.
We'll talk about it. Number 18 is Iron Man, the original.
All right.
Number 17 is The Eternals. It kind of just went down for me after other movies.
Right.
Tentative, I think when I rewatch it, it might shift.
Yeah, it would shift, yeah.
It's funny.
16 is probably like your number one. 16 is Spider-Man Homecoming.
Bump.
Okay.
15 is Ant-Man and the Wasp, which
Bump.
was my first time watching it, and I really liked it. 14 is Spider-Man Far From Home.
Bump, man.
13 is Loki. 12 is Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And 11 is Shang-Chi.
Bump.
All right, I'm gonna go. I am gonna go through mine because I think it'll be funny compared to what Sarah just did. So, okay, so 29. My 29 is Thor: The Dark World.
Okay.
28 is Iron Man 2.
I love Iron Man
27 is Thor. 26 is The Incredible Hulk.
Oh, no.
My 25 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Wow!
I think that movie is not anywhere near as good as the first one and is actually like a pretty big disappointment compared to the first one. My number 24 is Iron Man 3.
Wow.
Now, Letterboxd doesn't let me rank it because for some reason What If doesn't show up on their things, but in between Iron Man 3 and the next movie is where I would put What If.
Okay.
So What If goes there. 23 is Iron Man 1.
Okay.
22 is Avengers Age of Ultron.
Okay.
Yeah, we're about
Number 21 is Ant-Man.
Okay.
Number 20 is Doctor Strange.
Wow, we're
Wow,
similar.
Yeah.
Wow.
Number
Okay.
19, yeah. Number 19 is Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh, wow.
Number 18 is Captain Marvel.
Wow.
Number 17 is Black Widow.
Oh,
Number
bump.
16 is The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Okay.
Number 15 is Black Panther.
Oh,
Yeah.
bump.
Number 14 is Avengers, the first one. Yeah. Number 13 is Thor Ragnarok.
Bump.
Number 12 is Infinity War. And number
Oh my
11 is
God!
the first Guardians.
Oh, yeah. See,
Yeah.
I didn't,
And you all came for me?
see. I didn't. Never,
My list is really good.
Yeah, I never
So is
did.
mine.
I never did the whole full ranking at all. I'm just my experience with the MCU, which I do want to get into a little bit before we actually get into our top 10, and maybe some. Well, see, my number 11 would be like Guardians of the Galaxy. I had to drop that out for another film, so that would be my 11. So when you say Guardians of the Galaxy, that's my 11. But
Bump.
my it's weird because Iron Man came out the same like month or so when I graduated high school. So I was there when it all started, and I kept following it, throughout the years until up to now. And it's just, I love the MCU because it has humor compared to other superhero films, and
it's not Snyder's fucking grim dark, blood and murder fest.
But also, says the characters are somewhat relatable depending on the situation they're in, and you feel for them. I got really close to characters when watching these films, and I love the MCU.
Yeah, I mean, we can hit our experiences with the MCU. I guess this is kind of the MCU episode.
Oh yeah.
I remember sitting in the theater seeing Iron Man 1. I remember a theater attendant coming in and saying, "Hey, you guys should stay."
Oh wow.
Because that wasn't a thing yet.
Right.
People, they weren't really doing after credit scenes. Somebody came in and was like, "Hey guys, by the way, there's a scene after the credits. You should stick around." And so I remember that, and I didn't see all of Phase 1 in theaters. I missed out on a couple. I missed out on the Thor movies. I think I saw the Iron Man movies in theaters, and the first Captain America in theaters, and then Avengers. But I missed out on Hulk and Thor.
I think I started watching the Avengers in the theaters, but like the other films in the franchise I didn't really get into until like the Avengers, when a group of friends of ours just went there, and they're just so they were like in the back row, or just like they started talking. He's like, "You guys shut the fuck up over there. I'm trying to watch this movie."
Yeah. I remember Captain America going to see that movie, and then at the end of it being like, wait, because if you don't remember, the post-credit scene for Captain America is just a trailer for Avengers. Like straight up. It's not even like we're teasing Avengers. It is a literal trailer for the Avengers movie. It is a collection of scenes from the Avengers trailer cut to mute. It's a trailer, a real trailer.
It's really weird.
That was weird. That was very weird. But yeah, the MCU is an event. I see all of them in theaters now, and watch it all on Disney Plus and follow it all. I think it's like one of the most impressive things ever done in movies. It's kind of, maybe not in terms of quality of the movies, right? But to tell this story over this many movies and to have the success that you did with it is incredible. And let's see if I can get to this. I would highly recommend, I'm going to try to get to this thing. I'm going to get to it. I would highly recommend to people the story of Marvel Studios. Whoa. It's a 2-volume behind the scenes account. Starts at Iron Man 1 and goes through Far From Home, I think.
Oh wow.
Holy fuck.
But it's 2 big old volumes talking about the people behind the scenes, Kevin Feige, Louis Esposito, Victoria Alonso, all those producers that run Marvel Studios, and it's a really interesting read. I really highly recommend it, because you read it and you look at Iron Man and the Incredible Hulk, and you're like, how the fuck did they do this? It so nearly didn't work. And it's incredible.
Yeah. Well, I started with I saw Thor on a date and made fun of it the whole time. So now you know why it's so low. And then
it's a bad movie.
I just made fun of his eyebrows. I was like, what is going on?
I always forget that they're blonde in that movie.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
it's bleached.
He's
choice. Just so Shakespeare. I don't like Thor in those two movies. And it is kind of amazing that. I feel like Thor has the most transformation. And everyone loves him. And I love Thor now, especially watching him from the first one to Infinity War is insane. When it all changed for me was when I saw Avengers in the theater. I remember I saw it twice. And back then I was kind of like, because all the guys would talk about it, and I'd be like, well, I saw Avengers twice and in the theaters, and I love it. And they were like, that's so cool. Like back when like girls didn't like that kind of stuff. And now everyone loves Marvel, so it's fine. And then I kind of fell off.
Super mainstream yet.
No, it wasn't. No. So I was like, oh, I really like this superhero movie that I saw it 2 times more than my guy friends did. Like that was my badge of honor. But I would say it was Ultron that I went to. After Ultron, I went and saw every Marvel movie in the theater. And I was like, okay, it's time for me to actually pay attention. Commit.
It's time for me to commit to this relationship with this multi-billion-dollar franchise.
Commit to this relationship.
When do you guys think it hit the mainstream and like became the icon? Because I want to say I feel like the first time I remember seeing like people that weren't super nerdy really getting excited for these movies was Civil War.
That's literally what I was going to say.
Yeah,
Civil War is when I remember people going like people I wouldn't expect being like, yeah, I'm really excited for this.
I would say after Guardians too.
Yeah.
Because I think once people actually went and saw, because I didn't go see Guardians in the theater because I was like, wow, this looks really stupid. And then everyone was talking about it. And
really good.
And that's when people that weren't fans of Marvel were like, it's so good, it's so funny. I think that, but I think it was definitely Civil War. I think that's when everything changed.
I just remember being in school when Age of Ultron came out. And having gone and seen it, I was in it was 2015. I would have been 16 when it came out. So I don't know.
My freshman year of college.
I was like a sophomore or something. And I remember coming in the Monday after it came out, and like the one other nerdy kid really nerdy kid in the class being like, "Come here, we gotta talk," And so we came together and we talked about Age of Ultron. And I remember that. And then Ant-Man came out over the summer, so I didn't really, I wasn't in school. But then I remember coming back, 2016, Civil War, that's when, it wasn't the one dude being like, dude, did you see Age of Ultron? Let's talk about it. It was everybody being like, I love Bucky so much. What do you think is going to happen to Bucky? Oh my God, what's going to...
I think I looked it Spider-Man was in...
And I remember people being like, I looked it up, and in the comic books, Captain America dies. Do you think he's going to die in this? Because that was the thing And
you're like, you're all fake fans.
No. People who do that are losers.
No, just kidding.
So,
well,
all right.
I do that. Just kidding.
I got one question.
I think Civil War. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How long did it take for people to stay after the credits?
I remember doing it.
Ultron?
People doing it in Ultron.
But
I can't remember before that.
Because
I didn't see anything
every Marvel movie I went to, nobody there's a select few that never stayed after the credits. They just kept leaving and leaving. It's like, don't you know this is a Marvel movie? You stay after the credits.
I still see people leave.
Me too.
Yeah.
When we were in Eternals, people were leaving. I was like, sit down. We left.
People leave after the first one a lot. Because they're like, all right, there's the post-credit sequence. Like, no, sometimes they do 2. Sometimes they don't do 2. I always look it up. As soon as the movie ends, I turn on my phone and I go to look up how many post-credit scenes there are.
Yeah.
I do it beforehand, but usually I'm in one of the very first showings, so the articles haven't been posted when I start watching the movies.
Yeah.
And I have to be like, all right, now let me look. It's like 2 minutes ago.
Because I did my rewatch out of order. I didn't watch the post-credit scenes because they weren't going to make sense.
No.
So
Right.
I think I looked up a few of them because there are some that are towards like once you get towards the middle, like after Ultron, they all kind of start really setting up stories because the earlier ones aren't really. There's like
the
a
earlier
point.
ones are. Here's what the next hero we're going to talk about is.
Yeah, I think Winter Soldier, like just there's some of them that just show clips from the next movie. Like
Winter Soldier teased Quicksilver. No, that one showed well yeah, but the post credit scene was
oh yeah.
Wanda and Pietro getting their powers.
Yes, but also like there's some that you didn't really need, and then I think as it got farther, I forget. There was one movie I watched that I was like, when did that happen? And then I looked it up. I was like, oh, it happened in a post-credit scene. But I forget what it was.
I remember sitting in Age of Ultron and laughing at the post-credit scene. Or not, sorry, Winter Soldier. And laughing at the post-credit scene because they legally weren't allowed to say the word mutant. Yeah. So they said the age of miracles has arrived, whatever. And I was like, you guys can't say the M word. Like, you guys can't say mutant.
Also,
which is always funny.
Unrelated, but I just watched Dark Phoenix for the first time last night, and I just wanted to... It was boring. It was alright.
Unrelated, I kind of liked that movie. It was a lot more than I thought I would. I saw it in theaters.
It's better than Apocalypse, I'll say that.
Yes, which I think was like, I hated Apocalypse so much that I was watching... I like Sophie Turner. Magneto's got a pretty big role in that movie, and I really like him. So I don't know. I didn't hate Dark Phoenix. I mean, they've never been able to do that story well compared to the comics, but I mean, they've tried multiple times, but...
Yeah, it was alright. Just thought I'd share.
I'm sure they'll do it in the MCU at some point, and hopefully they'll do it well.
They'll do it well. Yeah. Never mind. I wanted to touch on some of the like lower ones, but I feel like maybe I'll go back and do that once we figure out everyone's list, and I'll just talk about. So,
you want to start with you then?
Okay.
And we'll go like how we're arranging.
Or do you want Mike?
StreamYard?
Mike, do you want to do your do you have any honorable mentions since we kind of did our list?
Oh yeah.
Not really. I mean, like I said, Guardians is 11 maybe. I needed like one of the things I want to do is actually re-watch everything from beginning to end because
it's getting more difficult.
It took me a while.
It sounds like it, and I have a shit memory anyway, so I have some memories, but I can't remember every little detail of the movie. So
honestly, even rewatching it, I was like, "What happened?"
Yeah. So this top 10 I've made it's basically mixed with memories and stuff I would kind of rewatch / watch for the first time. So, there's no other honorable mentions for me, to be honest. So,
I do want to say, I'm sorry. Before we start, I have a couple little things I want to say. I feel like watching in the beginning of the movies, there's a lot of stuff that, and maybe that's the post-credit stuff I forgot. There's a lot of stuff that happens. I start making a list of things that didn't make sense to me because I feel like they just kind of, especially with the Tesseract. And one of my questions was, why did Eric Selvig join S.H.I.E.L.D. if he was shit-talking about it in Thor? Because right after Thor, you see him in Avengers join S.H.I.E.L.D. It's in a post-credit scene that I didn't watch.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, he's mind-ware made by Loki.
So that's why. But I just wanted to go over one last little list that I made. The best Black Widow hairstyles throughout the movies. So, the bottom for me is her blonde hair in Infinity War at number 7. Next is curly long hair in Iron Man 2 with like the curls when they're trying to make her look really sexy. I don't like that very much.
It doesn't work. I think that's also... I think for a while in the comics she had curly hair.
It's not great.
It doesn't look good. I think they were trying to go for comic accurate with the hair. And then they were like, no, it doesn't look good.
Then we have the Civil War, which a lot of people really like. It's kind of like mid-length. She has in all the in Civil War and then the last two Avengers, not the last two, sorry. The the first Avenger, and then Age of Ultron, she has the bob kind of look, which that's pretty good for me. Number 3 is like her straightened bob. Number 2 is the Viking braids, the long Viking braids that she has in Black Widow. I love her hair in Black Widow. I think
that's my favorite hairstyle for her.
Number 1, which I got in an argument with one of my friends about, is the End Game hair with her red hair and the blonde on the bottom. Oh, no. As you can tell, I'm obsessed with that look. I love it so much. And
what about Winter Soldier's look?
Oh, I skipped over that one. That's like in the middle for me.
I don't like Winter Soldier's hair. Winter Soldier.
The straightened.
It looks weird. Yeah, it looks weird.
So here's another thing. Me and my husband were watching Age of Ultron, and he has a really high def TV. So I'm staring at her hair, and I was like, that's definitely a wig. And he's like, no, it's not. And I said, yeah, you can tell, like, it is so straight right here. It's a wig. And he's like, no, you're lying. So I look it up, and in every movie she wears a wig. So I was correct.
Of course.
So
of course.
Just wanted to
I think the most noticeable one, I think Winter Soldier, her hair looks so weird.
It's
There's something about it that just looks wrong.
I feel like all her hairstyles, this will be quick, her hairstyles in all the movies, and I think that's been everyone's complaint, is that it's so unrealistic that she's like fighting until you get to Black Widow where like it's out of her face. Like as a woman, that's the kind of things we think about, even with like Wanda, like fighting and stuff. I just, especially the bob, like that would be all in her face. Like it's not practical at all. Okay, let's get started.
Number 10, Sara.
Number 10 is I gotta pull up my list. Hold on. WandaVision. All right. Shawn, you're at number 10.
My number 10 is Spider-Man Homecoming.
Bump.
Okay.
Ooh.
My number 10 is Captain America: The First Avenger.
Bump.
Ooh.
Oh gosh, this is gonna be fun. Number 9 is Black Panther.
I don't have it anywhere in my top 10.
No, I don't have it in my top 10.
Wow. Okay. I really like Black Panther.
So do I.
Yeah, I do.
Not gonna lie, my favorite character is Mark. Oh my god, what is his name?
Eric Killmonger?
No, the only white character.
Martin
Freeman. I almost said Martin Sheen. Everett Ross.
Is his name Ross?
No. Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
I don't know. I love Martin.
Freeman.
Martin Freeman.
Yeah, Everett Ross.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah. I totally forgot.
I was. It's because fucking there's Everett Ross and then there's Thunderbolt
Ross. Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, why you both gotta be named Ross?
Yeah, and Killmonger is really.
I mean, Killmonger is one of the best written villains of all time.
I agree. I like really this movie a lot. I love the score. The score is gorgeous. I love all the like cultural aspects of this movie. The waterfall scene. I remember the first time, and a lot of my feelings on this stuff is also going to be based off the first time I watched these movies. So I remember the first time just watching the waterfall scene with all the different like colors and the music, and it's it's beautiful. I love Chadwick Boseman. I would say, and I feel like it's the criticism of a lot of people, like his character is kind of the weakest part of the movie because it is so focused on all the other characters. But
I think there's a lot of emotion in his character in that movie.
Yeah, I agree.
His dad.
That scene is like probably the best scene.
Yeah.
When he's like
in the Panther realm, the whatever.
Yeah.
I think this movie would be in the top 10 for me if it wasn't for the third act. I remember being in the movie theater and the first 2 acts being blown away by everything that was happening. Oh, Sarah's frozen.
Oh no.
Sarah's camera's gone. Being just like blown away by everything that was happening. And then there's a moment pretty much like once he dies, I could predict everything that was going to happen right before it happened. Like the movie just became very predictable for me. I think the final fight is bad. It does the Phantom Menace thing. Oh, Sarah's completely gone.
Oh, Sarah's gone. Wow.
I'm just gonna I'm gonna keep talking, and we'll get Sarah back in here. Black Panther does the. There we go. Black Panther does the Phantom Menace thing for its third act climax, where it's 3 fights going on all at once.
Yeah.
You have Everett Ross and his kind of like jet fighter fight, which is like Anakin in the N1 fighter. You've got the ground battle, which is like the Gungan fight, and then you've got like the one-on-one hero villain fight. And that fight looks really bad in Black Panther. It looks like Black Panther versus Killmonger looks like a video game.
The train fight,
yeah, that CGI really was bad. Just rough.
So the movie, I mean, it's still number 15 for me. It's still pretty high up, and it would be in the top 10 if it wasn't for that third act. I think it just kind of falls apart a little bit.
Yeah, Black Panther was in my top 10 until I had to drop a couple of films out to replace some other ones. So, and it's basically Marvel's The Lion King.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Marvel's The Lion King.
I don't want you to expand on it. I think it's just funnier if you
Shall we just move on?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's funnier if we just move on.
All right, that was my 9. Shawn, what is your 9?
That's your 9.
My number 9 is Captain America Civil War.
Bump.
Okay. Mike, your number 9.
My 9 is Captain America the Winter Soldier.
Bump.
All right, number 8.
Number 8 is Black Widow.
Bump.
Ooh, yay. Yay!
Give me 1 second to...
A lot of bumpings going on.
Yeah, for real.
Usually how it is.
Oh, are you making the list?
Yeah, I do it as we go. I'm just trying to... All right,
it just gone really fast.
Okay, what was your number 8, Sarah?
Black Widow.
Black Widow? Okay.
Yep.
And you bumped it.
Yeah, okay. I did. Yep.
All right. Who's next? It's me.
You?
That's you.
My number 8 is Spider-Man Far From Home.
Wow, that's really high.
Yeah. It's my favorite Spider-Man movie.
Oh. It is 14 for me.
Oh, wow.
That is the movie that I think is Mysterio is such a really good way of playing that character. Mysterio, I think, is the best portrayed Spider-Man villain visually ever.
Wow.
It's like, I remember sitting in the theater and being blown away by the sequences of Mysterio's fighting, because I never thought they could ever do that in live action. Like, I have been reading Spider-Man comics since I could read. Like, Spider-Man is my favorite superhero. I've had a lot of experience with Mysterio, and when they were like, Mysterio's the villain, or Mysterio's in Far From Home, because they tried to hide that he was a villain, which everybody that knows Spider-Man knows he's not, but they do a really good... Jake Gyllenhaal does a really good... Like, okay, look, I know Jake Gyllenhaal, we're doing whatever with him, but we're going to ignore the Taylor Swift stuff, and we're going to talk about his performance.
I literally couldn't ignore it.
He is so good as Mysterio, and he does such a good job making you think that he's a good guy and deceiving you and deceiving Peter. And visually, Mysterio is, I think, the best Spider-Man villain ever put to screen. The way his costume looks, the way his action sequences look, the way Peter deals with the trauma of Tony Stark's death in this movie, I think is really good. And I really like that we get to kind of see Peter be he's very smart in this movie, especially in that scene when he's making his own suit, and, you know, Happy kind of looks at him and he's like, the kid's all right, you know, which I think is a really big moment for him. I like all the different suits we get to see. I really like the red and black suit. I like the final fight. I love MJ in this movie. I think Zendaya does a really good job of bringing a more modern take on MJ. Ned's really good in the movie. It's my favorite live action Spider-Man movie. I really love it. So that's my
I really liked this movie the first time I watched it. It was really high for me, and then rewatching it, I still like it. I can't separate Jake Gyllenhaal, especially when he's yelling. The scenes where he's yelling, I'm like, "Whoop, there it is! It was there all along." But that scene, the scene in the bar or whatever,
oh my God.
Once it all changes and he's giving the speech,
it's so good.
It's so good.
It's I think one of the best scenes in a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, you see him just change from being like really soft and sweet and being like a mentor to being like, and this is for Tony Stark. Like, it's so good. And I love the scene when they're like choreographing the fight as well in like the warehouse, and he's like, if Spider-Man dies, it's all your fault. It's so good.
Also, Tom Holland in this movie is so good, especially the scene after he's gotten the piss beaten out of him by Mysterio, and he wakes up in that town, and like Peter Parker's a child, which is something a lot of people forget, especially in the previous Spider-Man movies, because they don't treat him like a child, and people get really mad that he's treated like a child.
Also, they're played by like 30-year-olds, so.
Peter Parker is the kind of guy that would get the snot kicked out of him and then be very scared because he's a child. And that's something that they do in Homecoming really well.
Yeah,
and that's something that they do in Far From Home really well when Happy shows up and he's like, Peter's like freaking out and he's like, prove to me you are who you are. And then when he does, he just like, he grabs on to Happy and he's like so relieved. I think that movie does a really good job of showing the youthfulness of Spider-Man, which I think is a really important part of his character. Yeah. And so that's another thing I love about it.
I agree. And I like the whole thing with Ned and the girl that they're like in a relationship. Yeah, I think that stuff is so funny. He's like, we're going to be bachelors.
God. And Flash, we got to see in this one that Flash is a huge...
Penis Parker.
Well, he's also a huge fan of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Which is a thing in the comics as well.
Yeah.
So I really liked that.
Yeah. I agree. All right,
Mike, what's your number 8?
Captain America Civil War.
Boop.
All right.
I'm the only one.
Number 7.
Number 7 is
I already said Civil War, that's why.
You already said it?
Yeah, it was my number 9.
Yeah, he bumped it already for me.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh shoot. Number 7 is Captain America: The First Avenger.
That's also mine. Number 7.
Wow, you guys have it higher than me. Interesting.
I love The First Avenger. It's like a period piece in like a really cool way that I really love. I love who's the guy who plays Howard Stark in it?
Oh, Dominic Cooper.
Something. Yeah, I love him in it. The relationship between Steve and Peggy, I think, is one of the better relationships in the MCU. I don't buy into a lot of them.
I disagree.
Look. That's all right. I really like, I think that movie really hits me and like the, the ending when he's with Fury and he's like, I had a date or whatever. I think that movie does the best to embody why Captain America is like the best of us. And he's like, he jumps on the dummy grenade. You know, like I could do this all day. Like getting up in the alley, like going out, even though he's supposed to be this like propaganda piece and going out and be like, no, screw you, I'm going to go save my friend. Like, I'm a big Captain America fan, especially as the movies go on. And something about this movie just hits so well for me. I think also it is one of the more unique feeling MCU movies, which I really like, in the fact that it's a period piece.
Yeah. I remember, I did not like this movie the first time I watched it. I also watched it in a drive-in theater. So not a great experience. And then I rewatched it a couple years ago and I was like, what? Why does everyone not like this movie? Like, this movie is so good. And I think it was pretty high for me for a while, then other movies kind of passed it. But yeah, I love period pieces. I love, I don't know. I just love everything about this movie. I really, really, really like, what's his name? As
Sebastian
the doctor.
Stan? Oh, the doctor. Stanley Tucci.
Stanley
Tucci. The Tooch.
He's so good in it.
The Tooch.
So good. He brings such like a softness and just because normally Stanley Tucci can be pretty like eccentric, I feel like, and he just brings this very like calm energy. I love. He's only in it for like 10 minutes, like not that much.
No, he's not, but he's really good at it.
Yeah, he's so good. You feel the relationship that him and Cap have just in that brief interaction. I love the scene that he's telling him the story right before the operation or whatever you would call it. I like Peggy. I just don't see their relationship. I don't know. I feel like everything happens really quick, but my husband was like, well, I feel like the movie's supposed to take place over like a year sometime. Yeah. So like that's
quick.
That's for me. You don't see them spending a lot of time together. So I think that's where for me, I'm kind of like, I don't know. I don't know. I love that training scene. Oh, Tommy Lee Jones is really funny in it.
I'm not gonna kiss you.
Yeah, I do like. I like the scene that when they're in the boot camp and they're trying to pick who's going to be Captain America.
He's so skinny.
He throws himself on the grenade and with the pole and like all this stuff. Yeah, I just love it. It's so wholesome. Mm-hmm. I love Cap, and the ending is really. It's kind of really sad. Like it's really bittersweet.
It's very sad.
Sacrifices himself. He's misses out on the date with his girl, which made me realize something way, way, way too late, which I'll talk about later.
Yeah.
Okay.
So sorry, go ahead, Mike.
Captain America is my favorite MCU character of all time.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the trilogy is like the best in the series.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why.
Although Spider-Man No Way Home might take that title, but right now it's Captain America.
It'd be interesting to see how that goes. I loved the first Avenger. Like Joe Johnson, who directed it, he did an incredible job. I love his work.
It's got such a unique feeling to it.
It does. The score is great.
Oh, the score is really good.
It's visually. It's a good movie.
And that score for a long time the Marvel movies didn't really do character themes.
Yeah.
Except for Captain America.
Yeah.
For a long time, Captain America was like the only character that had a theme.
I love that.
Started giving them
SOS stuff. When the beginning was like, I love that. And then they go to the camp and they're like, bring back the girls. I love that so much.
It's such a great origin story for Captain America.
Yeah, I agree.
And it sets up so much for the rest of the trilogy.
It does.
Is perfect. It's a perfect trilogy, in my opinion.
I was just going to say that.
Yep. I was just going to say that.
I think it's definitely the best trilogy set of movies in the MCU. I mean, there's no really... We'll see with Guardians, but I don't think Guardians.
And we'll see with Spider-Man
and Spider-Man.
We'll
but I feel like, and all the Captain America movies are all important and change things in their own way, like change the narrative.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That was who?
We're on your number 6. Oh no! We're on.
No,
you were skipping me, motherfuckers.
Yeah, on Mike 7. Sorry,
I'm on my 7.
It's hard for me to keep track sometimes.
Yeah.
Number 7 is Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Oh yeah.
Does anybody no bumps? Because that was my
bumps. That was my 16.
Okay, so I adore Spider-Man's. Seeing him in high school. That's a actual freaking high schooler. Like seeing him in high school. That's god. But the main point of this film I love the most is the Vulture. The Vulture,
so
my favorite.
Good.
Michael Keaton, my God, Michael Keaton does an excellent job as the Vulture. Like I fucking love this film because of that. Like I watched just for Michael Keaton, the Vulture, among Tom Holland's outing, in the film. Like Tom Holland's a great Spider-Man, and Peter Parker. So.
Mm-hmm. Spider-Man: Homecoming is incredible. It's really, really good. Michael Keaton's really good in it. It sets up a great cast. And I think this is one of those movies that if they continue to handle Spider-Man correctly, which I believe they have been, is going to really grow with time. Like if we get into like 3 more movies in college or whatever, right? And Betty Brant starts to evolve. And imagine if in 10 years we get freaking Flash Thompson as Venom, like as Agent Venom, like in the comics. Or if we get Ned eventually taking that role of like Hobgoblin or some shit. Like if they really pay off the Spider-Man mythos later on, Homecoming will be like one of the greatest Spider-Man movies of all time because it sets up so much. Everything. I mean, you've got Scorpion, you've got Shocker, you've got Vulture, you've got Aaron Davis, you've got Miles' uncle is in the movie. You've got all those characters in the school all have rich histories after they get out of high school with Betty Brant and Flash Thompson. Yep. Like, it's so good.
So good.
But I think they need to pay it off.
He agrees.
I think that's what keeps it from being higher than Far From Home for me, is it sets up a lot of promises, but we've seen how Spider-Man goes in the past.
Right.
I agree with that. I forgot to say I love Martin Starr in these movies.
He's so good in these
especially
movies.
Far From Home. Him and JB Smoove, is that his name?
Oh my God, he's
so funny. He's like, witches. It's witches.
Yeah. Which JB Smoove wasn't in Homecoming, and I think he's what makes Far From Home better. Is specifically him.
But I love Martin Starr. I love the scene in Homecoming, the gym, where he's like, they're showing all the clips with Captain America, and you have, what's his name?
Hannibal Buress?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure this guy's a war criminal now, but...
I agree. It feels like high school, and all, because you watch those, like, especially the older ones, they're not in high school or any of like the teen dramas, and you're like, these people are in their 30s. Like, this does not feel like actual high school.
Weird watching.
But in this, you're like, oh yeah, these kids probably just graduated high school like 5 or less years ago. Yeah. And I agree with everything. We all like the reveal of him being the girl's dad.
Yeah,
and
that
then
was
one of the best scenes in all of Spider-Man.
So good.
And then when we talk
the light,
when
the stoplight turns green when he realizes that it's Spider-Man. Oh,
yeah.
The car and then he just casually pulls out a gun and just rests it on the scene.
That scene it's so good. Tension. It's
so good.
And then what you're talking about, like the moment that you're like, oh yeah, Spider-Man as a kid, is the scene where he gets trapped underneath all the rubble, and he's
come on, Peter Parker, come on, Spider-Man.
Oh my gosh, that scene is heartbreaking when he's like freaking out. Yeah, his acting is taken so from the
comics. Like that's literally a splash page from a really early Stan Lee Spider-Man issue.
I remember I was stressed out and I was like, oh my God, this is really heartbreaking. Like, you can do it. I also like to see that he's trapped when playing around with the suit, and she's like, it's been 36 minutes. And he's like, what? Like, that seems
the really one funny. Thing, those fuckers gotta pay off the Stark Tower being sold. Who bought that tower? There were multiple theories. There's multiple.
What's his name?
Hawkeye put up a new theory. Yeah, the Hawkeye show has a new theory for who bought the tower. Hawkeye, they mentioned that the tower got sold. You're talking about the man that you only saw the arm of?
Yeah.
I think it might have been him.
What are the oh my God, what are their names? The Green Goblin.
It could have been Osborn. It could have been the Fantastic Four with the Baxter Building, or it could have been the arm guy from Hawkeye. I'm trying not to spoil what is very clearly going to be a massive reveal in an episode or two, but there was a character that showed their arm in one of the episodes of Hawkeye. It's very clear who it is. But anyways,
and if it's not, it's going to be like WandaVision all over again.
It's going to be so much worse than WandaVision, because at least this time they're actually like setting it up. Like,
we'll talk about we'll get there.
But anyways, the point being, I gotta know who bought that fucking building.
I didn't even think about that.
Number 6.
Yeah.
My
yeah,
number
Sarah,
6. Number 6 is The Winter Soldier.
Bump.
Oh,
right.
Wow.
Oh yeah, of course.
Great. Good movie.
My number 6 is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Bump.
Wow!
Yeah.
Oh, I should have put the whole title. I'm so sorry. That's disrespectful.
It's fine. Mine is Doctor Strange.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Wow. I love Doctor Strange. The oh my god, he is another favorite character of mine. Like, I love his origin of how he became Doctor Strange. Benedict Cumberbatch. I will admit the American accent is a little bit
Very
weird.
nice.
I kind of love it though. I kind of
love it
I love the
too.
choice. I do love the choice. Like, after the first time, like, that's his accent in this movie, okay, but I just love it.
He's
moving
going
forward.
for it.
He's going for it. But the way it mind fucks your brain, seeing everything like fold and unfold, it's like in Marvel's Inception, basically. Just like it just folds and unfolds.
I do love Inception.
And Mads Mikkelsen as the villain, one of the villains.
Yeah.
Wasted.
Yeah, he's kind of not a character.
I love Mads Mikkelsen.
Oh, I guess wasted opportunity. I guess wasted potential.
I wish he did more.
I just love the visuals. I love
the visuals are incredible.
I agree.
Benedict Cumberbatch. I love
Michael Giacchino's score. Michael
love
Giacchino's score is not to be underestimated ever.
Yeah. Tilda Swinton as the Ancient One is
like
also
it's so stupid. I hate it so much.
That's why Doctor Strange is in Spider-Man, because his hand things look like the spider webs.
What is Scooby-Doo?
Yeah, Scooby-Doo this crap.
Scooby-Doo this crap, yeah.
Scooby-Doo this crap. I
feel like there's gotta be more context to that line, because it's really dumb in the trailer.
It's really bad.
I fucking love it.
Anyway.
I love it. I just love it for what it is.
Mordo is in this movie, which I've heard some rumors about Mordo's role in Doctor Strange 2, and I really hope they aren't true, because that would be another one of the biggest wastes of a character in the MCU.
Also Wong as well.
Wong is one of the best MCU characters.
I love
Wong.
Wong is I love
Wong.
He's so good.
Tilda Swinton as the
Ancient One.
Yeah,
Ancient One. Kind of emotional.
What is Mordo say in that movie? The price must be paid or whatever. The bill will come due. Mordo is like the Doctor Strange villain, so I can't wait to see how that develops.
I just feel like script-wise, it's just a little slow for me. Like, that's why it's so low. I had to watch it twice because I was just like checked out.
Most people.
But I do love the operating scene when he's like fighting the guys who keep shocking him. That is great. Yep, and then the beginning opening scenes with the visuals with like Inception, that's also great.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the ending.
Rachel McAdams is underrated in that movie.
She is, yeah.
She plays her part.
Her in it.
Yeah.
I think she's better than some of the Marvel love interests.
Yeah, she's better than Natalie Portman. We'll just
there you go.
Throw it out there.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Bada bing, bada boom.
But yeah.
I like Doctor Strange as a character, though. Like, I really like him in later movies.
Okay, that's understandable.
I just don't love the movie.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Number 5.
Number 5! Top 5! The original Avengers, baby.
All right. It's not
really?
Nice, so.
Nope.
Really?
Nope.
Oh my god.
Nope.
Okay, I'll take this one. Like I said earlier, this was the movie that kind of changed things for me. Mm-hmm. I just remember being blown away. Especially, I feel like when I made this part of my list, it was important to also look at movies that were like how they affected me, but also like what they did. And I feel like the Avengers really changed everything. We see the like original 6, and I love the Hulk. This is the first time we see Mark Ruffalo.
Right.
fucking love Mark Ruffalo so much. I don't know. I don't know what it is with this movie. I think there's other movies that are stronger, but I still really like the story, the scene that when they're all fighting, and they're on the helicraft, whatever it's called. I don't know. The helicarrier. And he grabs, Banner like grabs Loki's staff and they're all arguing and going back and forth. That scene's great. There's a lot of emotional stuff with Coulson, which is really random because Coulson just kind of like shows up in the first couple of movies and then he dies, but it's still really emotional.
Then he goes on to be one of the greatest characters in the MCU on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
On Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I did not watch. I feel like people now kind of look back on the Avengers and they're like, it's okay, it's not as good, and kind of forget like how we all felt about it when it first came out. Like, I think huge. I think people look back and they're like, yeah. I just feel like people, I don't know. I think it's still good. I think the story's still really good. The ending still gets me when you still see them, especially now after watching End Game and you see everyone, like, it still holds up for me, even just seeing these 6 people work together. Like, right.
Yeah, the Battle of New York was like a pivotal moment in the storyline, so it's just it makes sense.
It changed everything.
We're still talking about it to this day. It's
exactly.
I mean, and then I love Loki in that film. Just
he's really good.
Yeah.
And the one scene I loved the most in that film was Hulk and Loki and his like puny god, and he just whacks him around back and forth. It's like one of my favorite scenes in the film.
Yeah, I like the scene with Black Widow when she's talking to Loki. And
I got everything I need out of you. Yeah, when she tells him for information.
She's like, thank you. There's just a lot of good setting up stuff in that movie as well.
There's a lot of setup. Yep.
Yeah.
That movie is very, very good. That movie is very, very safe. And that is, I think, why it ends up being pretty high up in my list. But like, it's not in my top 10 because.
Do you think it was safe back at the time though, or looking back from what we have gotten, now it's safe? You know what I mean?
I guess maybe
I don't think it was safe.
No, I think it was still. I think it was still safe at the time. It was. It watching it feels like I just watched like a 6-issue comic book arc. Like somebody just took a trade paperback of an Avengers run and just threw it on screen, which makes sense because it was written by Joss Whedon, who other things. But Joss Whedon wrote comic books. He's written X-Men runs before. Really good X-Men run. Yes. But it feels very safe. It's like, okay, here's all the characters. We're going to throw them together, and this is kind of everybody acts like you'd expect them to. And it feels. It's like, okay, then we're going to have this bad guy, and we're going to have this big army. Like, it feels very safe to me, and it's very good, but I think that's why it doesn't end up making my top 10. Okay, monumentally important movie for the MCU and for cinema in general. Yeah. But
especially crossovers, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it cemented the idea that this works.
Yeah.
Yeah. It came all together perfectly.
Yeah.
My number 5 is Avengers End Game.
Bump.
That's what I thought.
Bump.
All right, Mike.
Bump.
5 is for me Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Number 15, baby.
I had Ant-Man on the list, and then I rewatched Ant-Man and the Wasp. Actually, this is one of the rewatches
number
I did 19, for this list.
Baby.
I thoroughly enjoy what they did with it, and it's one of the 2 films post Civil War that actually works really well. The continued storyline after Civil War, and
okay. That continues the Registration Act, the Sokovia Accord storyline. I thought you were just saying it's one of the 2 movies post Civil War that's good. I was like,
I agree.
Hold on, Sarah. Hold on.
That's what I meant. It's like the storyline.
Yeah,
after
the
Sokovia
War Accord stuff. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
See, that's something that worked for me. I was like, stop talking about Germany. I get it. You weren't invited. Why are you so sore about it?
I love that they're continuing the the Sokovia Accords.
I love that timeline. It's like you could play so much in between that time, and I just love how this film actually just talks about it a lot. And I do love how Marvel de-ages their characters.
Oh
like,
God,
I was
it looks
watching
really good.
It's so good with Michael Douglas and Michelle Pfeiffer. I'm like, holy fuck!
It looks
like,
really good.
It's so good. And I was like, now I want like a prequel with them together and more about them. And
we're getting it. We're getting more.
I was like, we are.
give me the Hank Pym Chronicles or something. I want to know more about that guy.
I'd watch it.
I
would have beat his wife like in the comics, so I like it.
No, yeah, I would love to see more about that.
Yes.
Hank Pym is a terrible person in the comics, and I will never let anybody forget it.
No, I've heard that. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I've
and
heard.
He's really bad. They've had multiple chances to like retcon it, and they never do. It's bad.
The addition of Ghost is
really
interesting.
good in that movie.
She is so good, and I love the concept of that, like how she became Ghost, and like, oh my god, that's so good for
bringing
MCU
in Bill
stuff.
Foster with Lawrence Fishburne.
Yes, Lawrence Fishburne. Yep, that was just, and it was so funny. I was laughing at a lot of lines, a lot of scenarios. I was just having a good time, and the action's nice. I love how they kind of did more with the shrinking and enlarging stuff. Like there's that chase scene, and they kept like the Hello Kitty Pez. They throw it out and enlarge it. It's so I just love that. I just love the film.
So the reason this movie isn't it's number 19 for me. The reason when people say the MCU just makes the same movie every time, Ant-Man and the Wasp is what they're talking about. I like this movie a lot. I also like movies like Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, Ant-Man and Black Widow, which are all kind of the same movie. But the things that Ant-Man and the Wasp does really well, I think, is the quantum realm.
Yes.
And I'm very excited to see more of that in Quantum Mania, which it seems like that's like what that whole movie is about.
Mm-hmm.
Ant-Man and the Wasp is very forgettable to me. I don't remember a whole lot of what happened in it. I really liked Ghost, but I don't know. It feels very run-of-the-mill Marvel to me.
And that's okay.
It's okay. I still like that, but it just doesn't get into my top 10.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think the humor works better for me in this one than in Ant-Man. I really do not like Ant-Man. I do not like Ant-Man.
Because you don't like ants.
I'm gonna. Yes, that's honestly the ants. Just it's
serious.
It's a big hang up for me. I do not like the ants. I do not like the scene that the ants are carrying the sugar. I hate it so much.
Make sure you watch the video on YouTube.
Anthony.
Yeah, Anthony.
I love all of that. But I do like this movie when he's riding the ants and he keeps giving them all different names. I like that. I think that's funny. I like that there's a little bit less ants in this one. Like, I can't. The scene, and he stands up in the bed and it's just full of ants. That's my nightmare. That's literally my nightmare. Like, it's hell for me. My fifth layer of hell. See? Like, I hate ants. I don't, now this is just bashing Ant-Man. I don't like the villain. I don't like that they killed the little the lamb and make him squishy.
Oh no, the lamb! Oh,
this movie that movie does not work for me.
Right.
But this one, the humor is a lot better. Evangeline Lilly's hair is so much better.
Yep.
I don't like her character, but her hair looks great. It's not that fucking bob.
Okay.
Anyway.
Go to number 4 then.
That's my hang-ups.
Go to number 4.
Freaking Anthony. Number 4 is Civil War.
All right, you have it the highest.
I have the highest?
Yes, you do.
Wow. Okay. It's a good movie. What can I say?
Yeah,
I think, like we said before, I think this is the movie that changed everything. Kind of put it into the mainstream. You heard people saying, like, are you team Iron Man or are you team Cap? And I honestly feel like I go back and forth. And I think that is a sign of a good filmmaker, that they can make you empathize with both characters and understand both sides of things. I think this is kind of when the Russos kind of proved themselves more. They proved themselves with Winter Soldier, but I feel like this is the one that, like, yeah, they can handle all these different characters.
Yeah,
I mean, before we get to Infinity War and Endgame, like the airport scene was the biggest thing.
Was the biggest thing,
it's still incredible. I feel like you really don't have to. I didn't see Ant-Man before I watched this one, and the fact, it wasn't lost on me like who this man is.
Yeah.
But also, like, they do a great job introducing Black Panther. The scene that they're running in the tunnels is incredible.
Yes.
Spider-Man getting introduced in this is also great. Like, they just do a good job handling all these different stories, handling all the different Cap stuff, but then also Bucky, we'll just say it, the end, that scene is great for me. The 3 fight with Bucky, Iron Man, and Cap is incredible. Yeah. And the one shot that they're bouncing off the shield off of each other is...
That's iconic.
It's crazy. And I love Zemo. I fucking love Zemo.
Zemo's a great villain.
Helmet Zemo.
He's a great villain.
He's so
the only
good.
one that won.
The only one.
Thanos.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I just think this movie's so good.
I remember seeing it in the theaters, and it was the theater was full, and we didn't know anything about it. And as soon as we saw Iron Man say, "Under ruse," Spider-Man flies in, and the crowd went wild. It went fucking wild. And I was like, oh my god, Spider-Man's in this fucking film.
My theater lost it when Queens popped up on
that too.
Yeah. I really like this movie. I think it's a really, 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 really good movie. I think it does pretty much everything.
I agree.
I have First Avenger and Winter Soldier higher than it.
Okay.
It's really good. It's in my top 10. It was my number 9. Mm-hmm. I think it does everything about it is like 8. Kind of very, very perfectly. It's not really Civil War.
No, it's not. No.
I really like the Civil War storyline in the comics.
Yeah, I know the storyline in the comics.
They do a really good job taking the Civil War storyline and making it into a Captain America story.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I'm still kind of sitting here like, we could do that again if you want. Yeah. Like we could do Civil War again and maybe do it more faithfully to how it happened in the comics.
So true.
Just a bigger event. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I really love Civil War.
Yep.
Yeah. I also love Wanda in this movie.
She's so good.
She starts
Hawkeye. Hawkeye in this movie, shot 18. Played 18, shot 18. Just can't seem to miss.
I was like, Hawkeye's in this movie? I always forget he's in this movie. I know he's important. He literally showed up and I was like, fuck, Hawkeye's in this one?
He's Clint, what are you doing here? Disappointing my kids.
Yeah, I literally forgot. I was like, oh yeah, he's not in Infinity War. He's in this one. That's right. I get them all mixed up.
Yep.
Yeah.
My number 4, the best of the trilogy, Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
You have the highest, I think.
Yeah,
I do.
That's number 6 for me.
This movie's incredible. This movie is. I remember when they killed Bucky in the first Captain America movie, and I was like, all right, you set it up. Pay it off.
Here we go.
Oh my god, did they pay it off? Some of my favorite fight scenes in the entire MCU were in that movie.
Yeah.
The highway fight, the fight on the helicarrier. Yes. I'm with you till the end of the line. I could do this all day. The inclusion of other people, bringing in like Falcon and bringing in Black Widow into it. Again, starting to kind of show that we can juggle multiple characters in these movies. Yep. Nick Fury in it is really good with the shield stuff.
I also think
Robert
that
Redford
car scene with Nick Fury is great.
Yes.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Robert Redford.
I
Robert
love
Redford's
that.
Really good in it.
It's a spy espionage kind of film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The scene when he's chasing Bucky through the apartments and he's just running through walls, like with the shield in front of him, and he's just busting through shit. The elevator fight scene is one of the most iconic scenes in the entire MCU.
Incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
And the guys that made this movie, just for context, before they made this movie, were doing Community.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like,
television.
They went from, first of all, one of the best sitcoms ever made, but they went from doing Community to they went from doing television sitcoms with like Arrested Development and Community to making one of the greatest MCU movies of all time.
That's a big step
right
up.
off the bat. Like, that's what I think puts it above even Civil War. Is like Civil War, they've done it before.
I see.
Yeah, this was their first, like, out the gate, like, proving themselves.
Yeah,
Yep.
and they just knocked it out of the park. Like, the script is airtight.
Yeah.
Everything about it is just incredible.
Yeah, I agree. I love that scene that with Bucky and the highway, and then the music cuts out when you realize who it is.
Dude, the score.
So good.
The score for that movie is really good.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah.
What else can we say about
It's
a
a
perfect movie?
It is.
All right.
Mike, number 4.
Avengers End Game.
Bop!
All right.
Oh wow. Okay.
All right. We're gonna
Number
get
3.
controversial soon.
Number 3. Number 3, Guardians of the Galaxy, which was my number 1 for a very long time. It is now number 3.
It's off my list. Is at number 11, like I mentioned.
Again, number 11. And I
Wow.
rewatched it recently, and God, it's such a good movie. I think the rest of them are better.
Guardians of the Galaxy is a perfect movie, even outside of the MCU for me. I think it is complete perfect movie.
I agree.
I think they do the setup, setting up Thanos and other things really well that you don't really even like notice that they're trying to set up a universe. I think they do a great introduction of all the characters. You love all these Guardian characters. I think the score is great. The soundtrack is great. I mean, we all still love the soundtrack. I really like Guardians 2 as well. I think Guardians 2 has really good songs, really, really good songs. I just think that this movie is just, it's perfect. And also, like I mentioned, when I first saw the trailer for this, I was like, this looks really stupid. I'm not going to go see this. And then all my friends were like, you have to watch this. I watched it years later, and I was mad at myself for not watching it.
How wrong you were.
Oh my God, it's so good. It's so funny. And yeah, I don't know. I just think it's a perfect movie. And yeah, there we go.
Hey, there you go. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's all I can say about it. It's perfect. It does the stones well. It sets up the Infinity Stones. Yeah. I don't know.
I think if anybody's going to tell any sort of sci-fi story, Guardians of the Galaxy is like you talk about, like, before you tell a sci-fi story, like if when you're looking for inspiration, like what are the must-watch sci-fi things or read or whatever. I mean, Star Wars is up there, Star Trek is up there. I think the first Guardians of the Galaxy is up there.
It is.
It's so good.
A perfect movie. It's really, really good.
So,
I love it.
So let me justify it. It's the only movie I have on DVD from the Marvel MCU.
Okay.
I loved it for years since it came out. It has everything that I love. The soundtrack, the cassette tape, the freaking like Star-Lord as a character, the 80s references, all that stuff.
He's good.
It's my kind of jam. I loved it for years, but once you get to like End Game or Infinity War, you start to dislike Star-Lord because he is such a lame character, especially what he does in Infinity War.
I love his character.
I don't like Star-Lord anymore. I don't like him anymore.
But that's his character.
I
That's
don't
who
like
he
him
is.
anymore.
He's cocky and overconfident. And
I don't like him. I don't like Star-Lord.
Yeah, what he did in
anymore.
Infinity War makes sense, and if anybody listening is like, it doesn't make sense that he punched
makes
Thanos,
sense.
You're wrong. There's literally the scene in what? In Guardians of the Galaxy 2 before he blasts his dad? Like,
which is also
that is totally what
is
he
heartbreaking.
does. That Guardians 2 sucks. So, like, in
yeah,
that...
I love Guardians 2. All the stuff
not
with
good.
Rocket and Yondu is so good. And Baby Groot.
There's some nice scenes in both films, but I just over the years I'm just like, I don't. They're it's kind of overhyped for me at this point.
I love it. Is it my turn to do number 3?
Child, things are gonna get us some bad.
All right, everybody, buckle up. Everybody, strap in. The rest of my list is going to be interesting. Number 3, The Eternals.
Oh,
I knew it.
Well, look at that.
For me, Marvel's Eternals is one of the best movies they've ever made.
Oh, wow.
I think it's one of the best casts they've ever had. I care about all of those characters so much. I care about some of those characters more than I care about characters that have been in the MCU for I care about some of those characters more than I cared about Iron Man. And I really liked Iron Man. I think the action is incredible. I think it looks visually insane. The soundtrack is really good. The concepts they get into with the Celestials, what it sets up for the future. I love that movie so much. It drops the balls in some places. Crow is not a very good villain. The head deviant guy, he's not a very good villain.
Oh, I was like, who?
Yeah, his name is Crow. But Cersei,
your point.
Cersei, and I really like Sprite a lot. I think her character makes a lot of sense personally.
First Marvel sex scene. It
has the first, Icarus gets up in there, dude. They're thrusting. They're thrusting. Makari and Druig, I think I've seen so little of them, but one of the best relationships in the MCU.
You've seen all the TikToks
that believable. Oh, yeah.
Have you seen the ones that people are like, I went in thinking I was going to simp over Rob Stark, and now I'm simping over this guy?
Yeah. Fastos is all of them. I went into that movie, I knew that one of the characters was named Icarus, and I knew one of the characters was named Cersei. Let's see, can I do all of them now? All right, we got Ajax, Thena, Icarus, Cersei, Sprite, Fastos, Makari, Druig. Is all of them, or am I missing 2?
I think you're missing, what's Camille Nanjiani's character?
Oh, yes. Oh my God. Oh no. Kingo.
Who was probably my favorite character.
Is that all of them? Did I get all of them? Is there 9?
I do love Angelina Jolie and that guy's
Gilgamesh. Did I say Gilgamesh?
No.
Okay, I got them all. 10.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I love Gilgamesh and Thena's relationship is just beautiful.
But you get my point. How this movie that I knew 2 characters' names from made me by the end of it now I think about these characters a lot. I think the dilemmas that they face in this movie are really, I think they're realistic. Characters make choices, and I'm like, ooh, you're making the wrong choice, but I get why you're doing it. It's a difficult question to ask yourself. I'm going to spoil the end credits scene in a second, all right? Although Variety beat me to it. 3, 2, 1. Dude, Harry Styles is going to be such a good Arrows. He's going to be such a good Arrows. He looks perfect. He looks perfect as just a douchebag I want to punch in the face. And that's Arrows' character, dude. He's a douche. And that voice in the other post-credit scene setting up some other thing. Oh, Dane is really good in this movie as well. Fucking Jon Snow as Dane Whitman. I love this movie. I think it's really, really good.
That's not controversial at all. Yeah,
it being my number 3.
I think I need to rewatch it. Definitely, it was in my top 10, and then when I started rewatching it more and more, it just kind of got pushed down. But I think when I rewatch it, I think it will probably jump back up. We'll do our top 10 revisited in a couple months.
All right, Mike, what's your number 3?
Number 3,
Thor Ragnarok.
That's a good pick.
Yeah,
it's not on my list.
Where is it for you?
It is my number 13.
Okay.
So pretty high up there still.
It's still
They made a lot of movies, guys.
Yeah,
mine's 19. Why am I getting more?
Yeah, why are you worried about Shawn
That's
so much?
crazy.
How dare you? It's it's the
that's
best
sacrilegious.
What? Yours is low too. Yours is at 13.
But it's like
that's just because they made a lot of movies.
They made a lot of movies.
Yeah, they've just made a lot of movies. That's the only.
That's because I put Iron Man above Thor Ragnarok. Ant-Man and the Wasp
is the best Thor film, and I love every bit of Chris Hemsworth as Thor in this film. Then you got Jeff Goldblum in this film. You have
he's so good.
The Grandmaster. Loki's in it. Like Loki's
Valkyrie.
Valkyrie. She's. I love how she drinks. She's like an alcoholic.
Dude, one of my favorite Hulk scenes is Banner. Valkyrie's like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "You're about to find out." And he jumps out of the ship.
Oh, that's right.
And then you just see him
flop. Just flop.
Fucking go flying off the side of the Rainbow Bridge, and then he just comes he comes climbing out. He grabs the dog. I don't remember his name.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
From Norse mythology.
It's like
the big wolf.
The big wolf.
Let's see, wolf in Norse mythology. It's a real thing. It's a
yeah.
That's and Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk and Bruce Banner in this film. Just like, I love that scene where Thor's in the arena and it's like, yes, I know him from work.
And then it cuts to Loki and he's like, I have to get off this planet.
I like how Loki's like, that's how that feels.
Yeah,
that is definitely my favorite.
It made Thor a character. He wasn't one before this movie, and he was around for a long time before this movie. It's insane.
It's insane. And Taika Waititi directing this film, like, he put him on
the hell out of it.
The map
and
of
he wrote
America.
It, right?
Mm-hmm.
I believe so. Yeah. I
or he
love
wrote
this.
it with somebody.
That makes sense. Probably.
Yeah, he wrote it with. He didn't write this one.
Oh.
I think he did write Love and Thunder though.
Okay.
I think. Yeah, he wrote Love and Thunder with somebody else.
Okay.
So the next one will be written by him. But
gotcha. But yeah, still the directing from him in this film is, and him voicing, what's the other character?
Cool.
Yeah.
Piss off, Ghost.
And Meek.
Yeah.
Meek's here as well.
Me and my friend are gonna get a ship and get out of here. Wanna come?
It was just such a thrill ride. Just
the hammer pulled you off. Sounds like you had a really special relationship with that hammer.
I do love
the god of thunder, or the god of hammers.
I'm surprised.
It's really good.
I was surprised we haven't talked about Stan Lee cameos because I love the Stan Lee cameo in Thor Ragnarok as the
he's
barber.
Got a really good one. Yeah,
cutting the hair.
Oh yeah.
No, I love it so much. Yeah, it's one of my favorites. Best Thor film ever.
Kate Blanchett.
Oh yeah, she's really good as Hela.
That's my favorite scene when she's like,
I know, she's such a badass.
Unceremoniously kills off the Warriors 3, but
I hate
Sif
that.
made it out. At least Sif made it out.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, yeah. That's my 3.
Sarah.
Do you want me to share my thoughts?
Yeah, you should.
Oh no.
All right. Time to okay. I really when I rewatched it, I was like, okay, maybe it was circumstantial, whatever. I really tried to like this movie. I don't like it. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't know. I think watching Infinity War made me realize what specifically just doesn't click with me with this film, because Thor acts the same in this movie that he does in moving forward with his humor.
Yeah.
And I love Thor. I like how they've changed him up. I like how quippy he is.
Mm-hmm.
I think Thor works the best when he is the only one being humorous. For me, Thor Ragnarok does not work because every single character is trying to be quippy, and that does not work for me. All of a sudden, all the characters are like there's no one that is straight.
Okay.
And I feel all the hate.
Okay.
It's just that every single, like, you know how people were criticizing Drax in Guardians 2, like doing his comedy stand-up?
Yeah.
That's how I feel in this movie. I feel like every single person is trying to be funny, except for Hela, which is why she also doesn't really work. And I don't know, it just doesn't work for me. Some of the jokes are really funny, but
Okay.
I'm losing my thought because you guys are gonna freak out. Like, there's scenes that I like. There are sequences that oh my god, Mike. There are things that I like. Like I like the scene with the Hulk that we were just talking about, the fighting, that scene. Yeah.
Well,
I really tried to like it, guys. I really did. I really did. I'm sorry.
It's the humor for me, okay? The humor gets me. I love the humor, and that's why I love the MCU as a whole. The quips. I love the quips. I like
the humor. Quips. I just don't know why.
Is the straight man in the movie.
Yeah, Bruce Banner is definitely the straight man in the film. Yes.
Are you kidding me? He is not.
He's a
Bruce Banner.
When the scene where he's like, "What's going on?" But like, nah,
that's not a joke. He's freaking the fuck out. He hasn't been Banner in like 2 years.
But they're playing it as a joke.
I don't think that's the funny part. I think the funny part is Thor's reaction to it.
Yeah.
I feel like everything is all set up to jokes. Like, there's no just like it's like one thing. Whatever Loki says, Thor has a quip to joke right back on it, and I understand that's kind of what happens.
Fun, don't you?
I just don't.
You're such a fun sucker.
I don't like.
No, I see your point.
I don't like.
That's wrong. That's not. I could see your point on the comedy thing. Don't talk about the beautiful colors of that movie ever again.
I do like Jeff Goldblum. I like all that stuff. I like his makeup. I think that's great. I think he's really good.
Are so fucking fantastic. Oh my god.
I mean, he's just playing himself.
Oh yeah, of course. I like the needle drop.
At this
with
point,
the song. Shit, what is that song called? The Led Zeppelin. Yeah, yeah, that's great. That scene's great when they're like fighting. Yeah.
All right.
What's your number 2?
Okay, number 2 is Infinity War.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
It didn't make my list?
No.
I feel like I can't talk about it without talking about my number 1, which I think you're all guess. Yeah. So, spoilers.
We can just talk about it.
No, talk about it. I don't care.
Let's talk about him as one.
Okay, because watching it, I did not know how I was going to rate both of them because it literally is just one 6-hour movie. For me, Infinity War, I think that I really like the ending of Infinity War better than the ending of End Game to a point. The big battle scene I like more. I like the beginning of End Game more than I like Infinity War. I think they're kind of switched. But I feel like it's hard for me, like, these movies are my number 1 and 2 because of what they are. And because, especially watching Endgame and being like, oh, they did it. They pulled it off. Like, this is incredible. And especially these, I feel like Infinity War just kind of helps boost Endgame. I love the end of Infinity War is what makes it number 2 for me. Wakanda battle, all of that. Everything else is kind of set up and it kind of drags a little bit. But then once you get to Wakanda, the fight is insane. I love that it's in the day that you can actually see. I feel like Endgame, I'm kind of like, what's happening?
Okay.
I like that you can see everything. The moment, and especially going back and rewatching it after watching WandaVision, the moment with Wanda and Vision is so heartbreaking. I'm tearing up. It gets me every time. They do this every year. It gets me every time.
They kill him every year.
When the first scene and she carefully destroys it, and then literally the next second you see Thanos. Oh my god, that whole sequence is just heartbreaking. Watching him like just go through all the Avengers, and then you get the snap. Everything with Thanos. Everything. The I think the movie,
little one.
Yeah, the movie really picks up for me, I would say, at that scene with Gamora. Then after that, it's just nonstop. And especially when the whole fight on, I forget what the place is, with what we were talking about earlier with Peter Quill and all that, Star-Lord. His home
Titan.
Planet. Titan, yes.
Titan.
I think after that point, I think that's when the movie is like, okay, here we go. Like, we're getting started. But yeah, I think it's hard. It's really hard for me to separate Infinity War and End Game, because Infinity War is just tied so tightly into End Game. And End Game is my number one because I think that it's a good movie, but I also just think I have to give it number one for what it was able to pull off. That after 22, 23, I think movies at that point, that like you still cared about all these characters, and that they were able to make you feel emotional and connected, and all the fan servicey things, and it feel fan service because you've been waiting so long for Cap to say Avengers Assemble, and for him to pick up, I can't say it, Vernier. And the time travel stuff is great.
In a movie theater.
Yeah,
I shouted louder for Mjolnir than I did Avengers Assemble.
Yeah.
It's just
I was waiting for that.
I've said, like, I have seen this movie like 5 times, and I still cry every time. Like, I get emotional with Tony, with the Morgan is so fucking cute. Like,
when Tony and Peter reunite, and Peter's like, remember when we were on that planet and we were fighting, and then I went to sleep or something, because then Doctor Strange showed up and he was like, we gotta go, kid, and they started doing the thing, and then Tony just walks up and hugs him.
Yeah.
And despite it was like, Peter's like, this is nice, which is
this is nice.
I do want to say Homecoming.
I think Tom Holland's best acting is in Infinity War when Tony makes him an Avenger. That scene. Oh yeah, that scene. But I love the scene where he's like, okay, you're an Avenger, kid. And you see him have this like pride, and it instantly like turn into fear. Like, it's so good.
I gotta do this now.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah. I just can't rank
They're
it low.
Perfect
just
movies.
Based on what
what
it has done for the MCU and for superhero movies, and the fact that they're so good, like the fact that on their own they're still really good movies. You know what I mean? Like, they're just.
I think they're perfect movies. I think they work. I think I just enjoy characters on their own more, is something I've learned about myself. And that's the only reason that they're not... I'm really happy that I get to see them all come together, and I love when I get to see them all come together, but boy, do I love when it's just
the individual
Spider-Man,
stories.
And I get to a ton of Spider-Man, or a ton of Captain America, and not just like
focused.
A
little bit. I think it's more focused, so it's solo.
I think I like seeing everyone work together.
Yeah, and I do.
It's nice.
I do love seeing that.
Seeing my characters interact with each other, and
I wouldn't want the MCU without it.
Yeah, I mean that's what it's built upon. But and for me, of course, the time travel element of it just totally like. I love how they riff on Back to the Future. Like, that's not an accurate portrayal of time travel.
Yeah. I also like that.
Back to several films.
I don't know if people going into Endgame, if we thought about, time travel. Like, that's what they're gonna do. Like, I know I didn't think about that. Until unless I guess it's in the comics, I don't know. But I was just like,
I knew because I got it spoiled.
Oh, we all thought Ant-Man was gonna go up Thanos' ass, like, and then it didn't happen. So.
I love how the internet just went with that. Just like, let's have Ant-Man.
The Gamora scene in Infinity War is heartbreaking. The Black Widow scene is heartbreaking. I think for the eye roll, I think.
I was very sad. I was taking him.
I think Infinity War. I liked Gamora in Guardians. The more I've watched Guardians, the more I really like her character. But I think Infinity War was the one that really made me like her, and Nebula a lot. Especially Endgame with Nebula. I think.
Oh yeah. Fuck! I totally forgot about Nebula. Fuck.
Yeah, there's something else I wanted to mention, but I don't.
Fuck Karen Gillan as Nebula's. Oh fuck.
I did not like Nebula in the first time, but that's another one that you see her transformation.
Yeah, her transformation is the most in the films. My God, I forgot about Nebula. Fuck.
Yeah, She's so good. And I just gotta say, I do not like, as a woman, I do not like
that scene.
The whole, it makes no sense. I make fun of it. I think it's so funny. Yeah. Like, we're all together, women strong. Yeah.
I think the Infinity War scene works a little bit better.
Yes, that's what you're saying. It makes more sense story-wise. Like, she's on her own, Wanda's by herself, and then Black Widow's like, no, she's not, and it's the three of them. Great. Love it. And it's a good scene. So, yeah. That's my 1 and 2.
I don't have anything else to say besides them being perfect movies. They're really good. I love them.
Yeah, but that makes sense what you were saying about liking the solo stories a little bit more, and that's that makes sense. What is your number 2, Shawn?
Mike, what's your number 2 first?
Oh no.
My number two is Black Widow.
Let's talk about that first.
I watched it for the first time. I caught up with the 2 recent ones of the Eternals, which I'll watch eventually. I love spy stories. I love espionage, and it yet again one of the 2 stories that takes place after the storyline of Sokovia Accords and Civil War. Mm-hmm. I love how we get to see Black Widow and her kind of origin leading into what her adventure is with her Russian family. The cast is great. It's the actions. I just love every element of it. It's, oh my gosh, it's so good.
I love it. I love Yelena. I love David Harbour.
Yeah, David Harbour, the Red
Guardian. Love the accents. Oh, it's so good. The action scenes are good. The prison scene is great. I love the prison breakout scene. I love that he's like, even before that, when he's arm wrestling, just going through the guys.
Yeah. Yep.
David Harbour, you can tell, was having so much fun.
Yeah,
like,
he was.
I love to see when he's like, did he talk about me? He's like, Captain America. That's what
I love that too.
The dinner scene. I love the dinner table scene.
Yes.
Oh, God. It's so good. I guess the complaint is that it's not really a Black Widow story. It's Yelena like steals it for me. But I don't care because I love Yelena.
I love Yelena. I love Yelena so much.
Amazing.
I'm excited.
Yelena is coming soon.
Yeah, a couple episodes. I really love Black Widow. I mean, look, it's number 17 for me.
It's number 8. Okay.
So I love all the MCU movies on my list until number 24. Like Iron Man 3 is the first one that I don't love. Like it being number 17 it doesn't really mean anything. I still love it.
Okay.
You know? It's just it's one that I didn't care as much as it felt a lot more run of the mill than some of the other ones that I have above it.
I thoroughly enjoyed the Taskmaster reveal.
I really liked that.
I love
like that too.
I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting that at all. I was like, oh, that was a nice twist from my headcanon, just like figuring that out. Yeah, so I every element of it, just like, I mean, the one thing I loved at the beginning of the movie was you see the Ohio life, and in the background the TV's playing DuckTales. Like,
yeah, it is.
I'm like, oh my god! Of course, Disney is like they stuck in fucking DuckTales in the beginning.
I like that beginning sequence too when they're trying to leave on the plane. That is great too.
That was a great intro. That was a great like cold open, like fucking.
Yeah, I saw a lot of criticisms of people being like, "Oh, the action is just like we've seen it before," or I don't know. Like, I really like the action, and I feel like even with some of the other Phase 4 movies, like they are still upping the ante, and I'm seeing things I've never seen before. Still,
I think Mike's number 1 might have upped the ante a little bit. But I
try to think what you want.
Oh, I know. I think I know what it is because he bumped it and it hasn't shown up yet. But
no, you're number 1.
What mine is? Oh, well, you'll see.
You'll find out.
The thing about Black Widows
Just
with the
good
fight
showing.
sequences is they showed us the entirety of that sky, this like the free falling fight sequence in the trailers.
I didn't watch the trailer, so I think that's why it didn't affect me.
Yeah, like that entire fight sequence was in the trailers. So like it was happening. I was like, okay, here we go. What happens next? And they landed, and I was like, oh, nothing happens next. The fight's over. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and the humor's still on point with a lot of Red Guardian lines, and especially Florence Pugh. Fucking Florence Pugh
so good.
She's such a rising star. She does no wrong.
What
why do you do that pose? Yeah, why do you do that pose?
And then the
whole scene.
It has pockets.
Oh, for weeks after hearing the bye bye Miss American Pie, I was like, oh,
American Pie. Yeah, oh
that scene is great when they're in the bedroom and he's telling the story like, and then my dad peed on my hands. Like, why are you telling me that? I love that scene.
It's really good.
You have done nothing but tell me how bored you were. Oh, so good. She's so good. She steals. I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep going. I love the scene when they get captured. And he's talking because he thinks he's talking to her. He's like, I'm sorry, I messed up.
It's like you don't have the earpiece.
And he keeps doing it. She's like, you don't have an earpiece. That's my favorite. Yeah. It's mommy. All right,
Mike,
sorry.
Just hit us with your number one because it's not going to be as controversial as mine.
Okay. My number one is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I fucking...
2 number 4 movies at your top. Phase 4 movies. Wow.
Yeah. I love Phase 4 apparently. So
far.
So far. Shang-Chi actually surprised me. I adored it once I started watching it for the first time when I was on Disney Plus. And I was like, oh my gosh, like the cast is phenomenal. The fight choreography is phenomenal. The 10 rings are actually really cool on the arm.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I love how they adapted 10 rings because it's not what it is in the comics. It's totally different. But like, I love how they adapted that. The humor, once again, on point. Like Awkwafina in this film is like, she's so
really good.
Good. Like
sometimes she can be a little bit too much, but she's really balanced, really good.
No, it's really good. And then once you figure out what the plot of the movie is, oh no! Before I get into that, the Mandarin, they redeemed the Mandarin, especially with having Ben Kingsley coming back in.
I love him.
Trevor. Yes, the point is, and then Morris, that cute little thing.
Oh God,
so adorable. I want a pillow of that, like a little pillow pet. I would
love having a stuffed animal of Morris because he's so cute.
It's a pet.
It's a pet. It's a pillow pet.
No, I love like once you figure out what the plot of the movie is and you get to the end of it, it's like you get to see all the mythical creatures in that village. It's just like I was like blown away by it, and then like the climax is basically a big ass kaiju Japanese monster fight with these dragons and like it and these like. Oh, everyone coming together to fight all these. That's so fucking amazing. I love it so much.
I agree. It's beautiful. The story is beautiful too.
It is. Oh man, I love the story. I love the development of Shang-Chi. Wong is in this film.
The dad.
You just said like everything I wanted to say.
Yeah,
so,
I love the dad. I love that you can sympathize with him.
Yeah, just part of the story. Yeah,
and like lost. Yeah,
it has so much. Like, I'm going to rewatch it again. I'm going to keep rewatching it. It's so good.
Yeah.
So with that, our list is done because.
What is your top 2?
I have to give my top 2, but it's not going to change what the ranking is. But my number 2 is WandaVision.
WandaVision.
I loved it, guys. I love television a lot, and so that coming in as the first week-to-week MCU show, right?
Yeah.
The theorizing between weeks, I like the use of Evan Peters as Quicksilver. I'm not convinced that it wasn't him. They could still. There's enough room there that they could be like it was actually him. I didn't care that his name was Ralph Boner at the end. Whatever. I love Scarlet Witch and Vision are two of my favorite MCU characters, and they have been since they were introduced. And I remember when Vision caught Scarlet Witch in Age of Ultron, and being a comic book fan, going, I know where that's going. And they delivered on it, and they really hurt me along the way. I think it has some of the best writing in terms of dialogue of any of the MCU shows, like the things that Wanda and the things that Vision specifically say. And we kind of fulfilling the promise of Wanda being the Scarlet Witch finally, when Scarlet Witch is a character that I really love, was really important to me. So I love everything about that show. I think it's really good.
Yeah. It's on my top. I think it was number 10. I need to finish rewatching it. The first couple episodes are so strong for me. I love the sitcom aspect of it. Yeah. I like how it's like using her
Darcy. Oh, sorry. I remember that they brought Darcy back and they fucking made her character so much better than in the
I love Darcy in this. Yeah, and then we get Randall Park, Jimmy Woo back,
and he does the magic trick that he learned from Scott.
Yep, from Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I think when it starts to go into the Marvel aspects of it, it kind of starts to lose me towards the end a little bit. For me, watching it again, knowing that what we speculated on was not going to be true, there is a lot. I feel like there is a lot that they were like setting up that
I don't think so.
I do. I think that there's just like Agnes. I feel like Agnes is whatever. Agnes, Agatha, I feel like she's just kind of a waste. I'm going to be honest. Like, I really like her. I don't think so. They know what they were doing with her character.
No. Like, I think they knew exactly what they were doing with her character.
But they mention all this stuff that I just feel like it's not, they can't turn around.
No,
but I'm saying, like, I feel like the creators came out and kind of turned around and was like, the fans are the ones that speculated all this stuff. And it's like, not really. Like, you led a lot of little...
What do you think specifically of the...
There's a lot. They really tried to build up a lot with Dottie that kind of led nowhere in the first couple episodes.
I don't think so.
I
think she's just being weird because she's being brainwashed.
Yeah, but I feel like they try to make her more important than she is. Agatha talks a lot about like the devil being in the detail and kind of brings up that kind of stuff.
I think it's unfortunate turn of phrase.
I'm just saying, like, I think that there's a lot of stuff that the creators kind of laid in there and then was like, well, this is your fault for speculating too much. And it's like, no, I don't think so. I don't know.
I don't think there's anything in the show that actually hints at Mephisto if you didn't already know who Mephisto is. I don't think there's anything in the show that if you were not already aware, whereas there's some hinting going on with Hawkeye of a certain thing, where I think even if you didn't know who that character is, once the character was revealed, you'd be like, yes, they were referencing things that this makes sense. But like, just, I think the devil is in the details. It's just something people say. Like,
well, I don't think it's the clear Mephisto. I just think that there's just a lot. I feel like them fleshing stuff out with Wanda, I just feel like for me it just wasn't done well. Like I feel like they're trying to set it up.
Yeah.
Like when the mystery aspect of it, like kind of, I don't know. For me, like there's just that kind of stuff, which when the whole scene when she's like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Like, I'm not controlling everything, where it's kind of revealed, like, yeah, you are kind of controlling everything.
I love it, though. I love it because it's the trauma taking hold of her.
Yeah.
Like she's, I love that she's pushing it out of her mind and being like, I don't, like, refusing to accept the situation. I think it's very real. I think it's very well done.
That's true. I don't know. I think there's just more. It just kind of like falls apart for me. But I like all the sitcom stuff. I think the sitcom aspect is really good.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I forgot my dog was right behind.
I love how they go through each era of sitcoms.
Yeah. I wish Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany got some kind of Emmy. I know they got nominations, but I think this is her best acting.
Oh, I agree.
think it's so good.
Yeah.
She just embodies all those different stereotypes, especially in the earlier episodes. And yeah, the kids are really cute. They're so cute, Tommy and Billy.
Oh, Young Avengers here.
And I really like she's Monica, right? I really like Monica.
Yes.
I really like her when she plays. You really see a big transformation with her, because when she's Geraldine in that one episode and she's like, and then that, like doing the typical, I love that. And then you see her kind of play a little bit more straight, serious, close to the chest. Like she does great. I think she's kind of underrated on this show.
Remember when us bozos were like, a physicist, it must be Reed Richards.
Yeah, that was the other part that I'm like, why say that if you're not trying to set up?
They actually talked about it. They were like, because we thought that if we just had this happen, people wouldn't accept it. They'd be like, how does Monica get this stuff? So we need to be like, oh, she has an astrophysicist friend. And then the writer was like, it backfired horribly on us.
Yeah.
When the episode came out, I was looking online and I was like, oh no, they think it's Reed Richards. Like, no, why? But it was the explanation he gave for why they wrote that line and makes sense to me, because I think people would have had that problem.
I think they're probably screwed either way. Like, people are going to be like, why didn't they? Yeah.
And my number one, Loki.
Wow.
Loki is my number one. It got weird. It felt like a season of True Detective, and I love True Detective. Owen Wilson is so good.
Yeah, he is.
He's so good as Mobius. I think Sylvie is such a brilliant idea. I love that this is what opens up the multiverse to us, as we're kind of starting to get like into some weird shit with that. This was a show where I was really theorizing that something was going to happen, and I was going kind of out there with my theorizing. And the show wasn't really promising this to me, but I was freaking right anyways. Not Kang the Conqueror, but a variant. He Who Remains was in it at the end, and dude, Jonathan Majors is so good. He's so good in that one episode. But just God, all the different Lokis when they went to the Loki. When they went to the place
great.
at the end with Richard E. Grant, and he just
so good.
It's Asgard.
Yep.
Like every episode, I think is perfect. Like I don't think there's a single bad episode in that show. And I loved it. That's my number one.
I need to rewatch it. That was one that I needed to rewatch.
It's definitely my type of show. It's just I didn't consider the shows on my list at all. So.
You were wrong to do so, because
I was going to make a joke and say my number one was Jessica Jones, even though I know it doesn't count, just to piss Shawn off.
Jessica Jones season 1 is really good, though.
Oh, it's so good.
I haven't seen 2 or 3, but 1 was really good.
Just stick with 1.
But anyways, I'm going to run through our thing because we got to get out of here.
Yeah.
At number 10, with 8 points, is Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yay!
At number 9 with 9 points is Avengers Infinity War.
Wow. Yikes.
At number 8 with 9 points is Captain America the First Avenger.
Okay.
At number 7 with 10 points is Loki.
Okay.
At number 6 with 10 points
that's your number one?
WandaVision, because it's my number one.
Oh, I was like, how the fuck?
Both your number ones are on the list. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, which, hey... Oh, just wait. Yeah, my number one is on the list.
Loki.
7, 10 points Loki. 6, 10 points WandaVision.
Okay.
Number 5 with 12 points was Black Widow.
Yay.
Number 4 with 12 points was Captain America Civil War.
All right.
Okay.
Number 3 with 14 points was Captain America the Winter Soldier.
Okay.
Number 2 with 15 points was Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Wow.
Nice.
And number 1 with 23 points was Avengers End Game.
Of course.
I was going to say.
Just so far ahead.
It has to be End Game.
So far ahead.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow, Shang-Chi pretty high.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Hey.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love it, man. I love it.
But that's it for us this week, folks.
Yeah, hope you enjoyed.
It's been 2 hours. This is an extra long episode. It'll never be like this again.
No,
this is like an old. This is like an old school episode of Beyond the Screen where we're like, we're just gonna make it a short one, and then we're like 2 hours later.
We knew it was gonna be long. We're talking about every Avengers movie.
Next time, No Way Home will be out. So Sarah, you got your tickets for opening weekend, right? So we can talk about it.
Nope.
Guess what, Shawn? We're not. Yeah. Sorry. I probably won't see it till that like Tuesday afterwards.
I probably won't see it till.
Look, I was going to, and then I was like, oh, we live in a small town. Like, I don't have to worry about it. And then everyone was like, they're sold out till Sunday. And I was like, fuck my life. So, yeah. And then I have people I work with coming in and telling me they're going to spoil it for me. And I'm like, you're all going to get fired if you fucking come in and start spoiling it for me. Like, I swear to God. Don't worry,
because I'm going to spoil it on the show that Sunday.
It's only going to be you.
Yep,
me and Mike will be gone.
The next time, I guess I'll give my non-spoiler thoughts on it. And we're gonna talk about our fantasy movie, I guess, because we still have to do that.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yep.
We'll talk about Spider-Man a little bit. No, we'll wait until you guys have seen.
Spider-Man, and we'll probably talk about Hawkeye.
We'll talk about Hawkeye. We'll talk about Hawkeye. But yeah,
Hawkeye.
That's it. Oh no, we won't. Hawkeye won't be done.
Oh,
Hawkeye will have one more episode.
Oh, I'll still bring it. I'll still bring it up. I don't care.
Right.
I gotta talk about it. Anyway, that's gonna be the end of our show here. Shawn, until next time, where can people find you?
You guys can follow me on Twitter at Shawn_AFK. Also, I do a show called Speak the Words. It's at Speak Stormlight on Twitter. We just started season 2. So you guys should go check that out if you want. It's a good place to jump on and check it out.
Mike?
People can follow me personally on Twitter at Mike Mixtape, and everything I do is in my Twitter bio. The thing I'll mention is the Into the Grid, the Power Rangers podcast that Shawn and I do. We're closing out on season 3 and going to start up on season 4 pretty soon. Recording wise, uploading wise is going to be a hot mess because it's like a month behind. So listeners won't be able to hear the 4th season until next year. So go Into the Grid on Twitter and anchor.fm/Into the Grid. Just give it a listen if you love Power Rangers.
And you can follow me on Twitter at SCBOK, SSEA, that's about it. That's going to be, you can follow Merc, this channel at Movie Blog Merc. See what other shows that we are also doing on the YouTube channel, podcast feed as well. Until next time, when we see you, when we go beyond the screen.
Bye.
Thank you.